here. Let's see. Okay, now we're live on YouTube. I will explain a few things about Talk and Talk before we start. As you know, we are a conversation platform where you can come here and talk in a lot of languages. Today, we're speaking in English about why Socrates hated democracy. Seems like a hard topic, but it isn't, okay? So let's go. The first question is, what are your thoughts on Socrates' comparison of society to a ship and his criticism of democracy based on this analogy? In the video, we saw that he compared society in a ship, as a ship. So let's see, what are your thoughts about that? What do you think about that? Let's start with the ladies. Victoria, what are your thoughts about that?
Still trying to figure out what are my thoughts about that. But I got Socrates' point, but I also think that okay, in philosophy we do comparison, and also in life to develop our thoughts and ideas, but I think it is not a fact, you know. So society isn't really a ship. So it's difficult to develop a critique around this. I don't know, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe he was just based on what he knows, and different than today, where we have data. For example, we have data, we have statistics, and we have the possibility of doing great research with a lot of people around the world. I think he was only looking for what was in front of him. So it's difficult to critique in this way.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I could get your point. Like, we can compare, but we can't take it too literally, right? Because society is not a ship. That's it, right? Perfect. And you, Priscilla, what are your thoughts about that comparison?
So it's difficult, yeah, when Socrates compare about something about to control the I don't know the navio, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it's a relative, yeah. Sometimes it's the person it's prepared to control the country, yeah. Maybe the person said about the democracy, the law, laws, but it's not it's, I don't know how can I explain this, but it's not about the person study a lot about that and is specialist about this, yeah. Maybe the person study and not to prepare, yeah. It's relative, in my opinion. Yeah, I think this.
Perfect. That's it. Yeah, and it makes sense because as we can see, there are a lot of people who studied a lot about something, and still there are a lot of things to discover, right? So it's not like they know everything. Nobody knows everything.
Yes, depends of the case, yeah.
Perfect.
The person, and I believe the person, for in general, I believe needs learning all the time. Yeah, depends of the professional, yeah, of course, but it's important to invent all the time. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Totally agree.
It's a relative. It's difficult to explain, but I think this.
Mm-hmm. No, but we could get it. That's true. Perfect. And for you, Ricardo, what are your thoughts on that comparison of society as a ship?
Well, I believe that is a little weird for me because Socrates living in for 470 years before Christ. So I believe that. I'm not sure, but it's around 470 years after Christ. So in this case, the society changed a lot, and essentially we improve a lot because the democracy reach a lot of parts of our world. There are some portions that don't have democracy yet, and Winston Churchill used to say democracy is the worst way to govern after the others. So it's certainly democracy is not perfect, but it sounds like the best one. So in this case, I don't. I believe that this situation probably it will be discussed in some question. One of the question, I don't read the question, but I just answer that is because I believe that's it. There are more questions to answer another.
Perfect. Okay. And this sentence of Winston Churchill is really famous. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
But I don't agree entirely because I think I love democracy. I think it's really good, but I think it depends on the way it's done. Because I partly agree with Socrates because I think like we need to have a good education for democracy to work. Because if we don't, it won't work, in my opinion, I think. And you, Alexandre, what are your thoughts on Socrates' comparison of society to a ship?
So I didn't capture the comparison in the video. I think it's the deep question to answer. I have no idea to discuss about this. What I know is Socrates was one of the most person that defend democracy in the world, in the beginning of the history. And I can't say more than that question about that question. Sorry.
Okay. No, don't worry, no problem. No problem at all. So let's go to question number 2. Do you believe Socrates' trial and execution demonstrated the potential dangers of a democratic system where the majority can make unjust decisions or unfair decisions? Why not? Because they said on the video that Socrates died because he was on trial. And a lot of people died because of that. Like they said, they mentioned Jesus Christ too, and those things. Not comparing Socrates to Jesus Christ, obviously, but a lot of people died in an unfair way, né? And it was democracy. People vote that they should die, and they died. So, do you think it demonstrates one danger of democracy or not? So, let's see. Ricardo, let's start with you. Do you believe it shows one? Why are you laughing? I like your answers.
Well, Socrates told a phrase a long time ago, but I believe that I can't reproduce in English this phrase. So in this case, let me just a while in Portuguese. Conhece a ti mesmo. Is the main reason of our lives, I believe. So in this case, well, the unfair decisions, unjust decisions, depend of each person. So if you are unfair or unjust population, certainly it's cause unfair or unjust decisions too. So I believe that is a lot of people put much emphasis in this system of government. The problem is the democracy, but I prefer left side. What's mean the government make a lot of decisions, or I prefer more right because I prefer that's the liberty of each person. So okay, maybe it's possible to see the scenario and choose the best option. That's okay, but essentially the problem is not the system of governance, and the problem is which person do the right things. So if you ever, for example, in Brazil, there are a lot of violence. So the governance could help certainly provide a better education, but essentially depends which person of. That's the reason. For example, there are democracy in Brazil and there are democracy in Europe and the United States, but certainly it's better live in United States and Europe than Brazil. So depends. I believe that if you remove the people, for example, the Canadians, if you move the Canadians for Brazil, certainly Brazil is a safe place, became a safe place. That's it.
Yeah. But this is also, I guess, it's also related to culture. Né? Like we are like this.
Yeah.
And we have
Yeah.
this
Not
Brazilian
exactly, in
way.
my opinion, because the culture, it's certainly there are relation, but I believe that is part of culture. It's not exactly straight to the point in this case, I believe. For example, Europe, there are different cultures depends on the country, but essentially they are much more safer than another parts. And the different cultures don't change the scenario, the violence scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing, Ned, because there are a lot of things involved. Just like you said, not only
Sure,
culture, but like a lot of things.
certainly.
With you. Perfect. And you, Priscilla, do you believe Socrates' trial and execution demonstrates one potential danger of democracy or not?
In this case, it's difficult, yeah, because I'm thinking no about the specific democracy, yeah, to involve the person, yeah, to education and many things, yeah. Maybe in the case about the Socrates, I don't know, not about the democracy, for example, but the point of view and for example, the Socrates needs a person to know about to I don't know, leader the country, the specific country, because the ability, skills for to do a good job. Yeah, maybe it's not about democracy. The other things, for example, is the same. Yeah, the same. I don't know, causar again. Yeah, because I believe when some people don't know about the specific about the policy in specific, don't know about that, and don't know, and because that may be afraid, yeah, because they don't know, don't understand about something, and for I don't know in English the words the words, but I imagine this situation. The person, for example, some people don't think about the policy, don't know, yeah, maybe don't have access and education because they don't know about the democracy. And when for example, the Socrates said about their opinion, disagree about that, and for to defend it, yeah, decide this. yeah, because because don't know about the something, and to I think about Socrates, for example, afrontando, yeah, the people, because don't know about the don't know about the opinion about the democracy, don't understand. Yeah, I believe this. When I, the person in general, don't understand something, it's difficult. Yeah. The same recently happens, yeah, in Brazil. Yeah, some people don't understand something, maybe very stressful. I don't know. I believe this, but know about the democracy, about the involved to people. Yeah, only this. I believe this.
Perfect. Yeah, when people don't understand something and they don't study, they say it doesn't work. But sometimes it works. So it depends on the thing, right? It really depends.
Yes.
And on the person too. Some people don't like to open their minds about a lot of things. So depends on the person, depends on the topic, depends on a lot of things.
Yeah, the situation. Yeah. Accessible.
Perfect.
Maybe the person don't have accessible, for example, don't have TV. I don't know, because there are some places in Brazil, for example, don't the people, it's very poor, pobre.
Yeah, that's true. And you, Victoria, what do you think? Do you believe Socrates' trial and execution demonstrate one potential danger of democracy or not?
Sure. In my opinion, it demonstrated the potential dangers. Because as you said before, just being democratic doesn't make a decision good or fair, because in different cultures we have different points of view about what is fair and what is unjust decisions. For example, long time ago, there was cultures where people should be, I don't know the word, but apedrejado, for something like adultério. In my opinion, committing adultério is wrong, but the person who committed it doesn't have necessarily to suffer from apedrejamento. But as you said before, there were votes about it, about executions and this kind of things. I don't know. I don't think this is right. And I think, of course, the majority, I don't know how to expel this word. Majority, thank you, Ricardo, can make unjust decisions. That's my thoughts about it.
Yeah, I think like decisions are made by people, right? And people make mistakes. So, and doesn't mean that if there are a lot of people there, they will come up with the right decision, right? So I guess it can make unfair decisions, but just like Ricardo said, it is the least worst of all the other governments. So like if we put one person, because for example, Socrates, he wanted to put one person in charge, and he's just like a monarchist. I don't know why, but he was. And then he wanted one person. One person can make a lot of mistakes more than a lot of people, right? So I think it's complicated, because even though we can make wrong decisions, put one person in charge can make it even worse. So I totally agree with you. It has a lot of unfair and decisions, but that's the world, right? It's impossible to not make them. We're humans. So let's go to question number 3. This one is really nice. Should voting rights be reserved for individuals who have thought deeply about issues, as Socrates suggested? So like, should voting be only accessible for the ones who have education? Because that's what Socrates believed. So what do you think? Let's start with Priscilla. Priscilla, should voting rights be reserved for the ones with education, or anyone can vote?
Oh my God.
The difficult one, I know that.
Yeah, no, I have one opinion, a specific opinion about that. But it's difficult because you, for example, Brazil, you decide this, the person needs the education. It's difficult, yeah, because there are some people who don't have access for about that, and it's not good, yeah, because I believe the everybody needs, yeah, to decide, of course, but it's important to know about the candidate, yeah, you need something about that. It's a good person for to involve to administration the country, yeah. And my God, but I believe it's important to have an education, yeah. I believe I agree, yeah. Sincerely, I agree. Yeah, it's crazy, maybe, but I agree, it's important because when I don't know about the person, if you don't understand about the system, it's not good because you decide maybe I don't know, commit injustiça, yeah, when I just select your candidate, yeah. I believe this.
Makes
Sincerely.
sense. Okay. No problem. I want you to express your opinions. I like to hear that. And as we can see, it seems like a hard topic, but we see that nowadays, right? So like, I like to study philosophy. It's one thing that I study in college too. I really like, and then I like to bring those things here so we can think about that in our reality, right? So I like this, and I like to hear your opinion. So let's see. Victoria, should voting rights be reserved for individuals with education or not? Anyone can vote.
Well, it's complex to answer that, but I parcialmente agree with Socrates. Why? There are situations when you need someone who is qualified to do a decision. For example, economics. When we think about economics of a country, for example, there are politicians who make decisions based on their beliefs and not the facts, the things that are happening, what is working and what doesn't work for this particular economy environment. And they want to put what is on their minds to economy. And economy is not something like philosophy. We can, we can have new ideas and explore and without any risk. I mean, without risks. Economics are something more material, I don't know. And this is only an example, but what I'm trying to say is depends of the topic. And also, I think voting comes with, it's a right, but we forgot that it's in the beginning when people started voting, at least in many countries, voting became all right, but it went with a responsibility. For example, there are some places when the voting thing started that only men who went to the war could vote. And of course, nowadays we have different scenarios, different environments, society, etc. But I think people lost their responsibility with vote. So it leads us to bad decisions. And I don't know if I explained it well, but it's not educated, I think. Voting shouldn't be only for the educated people, because even if someone is a doctor in a theme, a subject, it doesn't mean this person can make decisions about every other question. But I think we should have more responsibility and more, I don't know the word, and more
You can say that in Portuguese if you want.
qualificação to vote about some subjects.
Perfect. And I guess you need to understand what you're doing, right? Because a lot of people don't understand. Né? They just, okay, I'll do this and that because my parents told me so. My parents told me to vote on this person, I'll vote. My friends are voting on this person, I'll vote too. I don't think it's like that. You need to analyze what you think. You need to see what are your goals, your reality, and then search for it. Né? Information is everywhere nowadays. But in Greece, where when this theory began, it was only a few people who voted, only men who were philosophers. So it was not a democracy, right?
Today too.
Yeah, yeah, more or less.
Similar, no?
Like that. Yeah, things don't change a lot.
500 deputies.
Yeah.
Shows the movements, the indication that's where the Brazil reach, for example.
Yeah. A lot of people say democracy nowadays is like a myth because they're truly indirect, right?
Yeah.
Because we choose the ones that are there and they make the decisions there. But a lot of people who are there, they were there for a long time. They don't leave. And then it's a real complicated issue. But let's see. Ricardo, what do you think? Should voting rights be reserved for individuals with education or everyone?
I believe that's a good point of view. Nowadays, there are a lot of interesting situations. It sounds like you have to express yourself. It's necessary to give your point of view. It's not your obligation, but a lot of people have to, in my opinion, something. Well, sometimes, for example, a lot of people have researched, for example, another planets, or for example, in 2019, I believe, I'm not sure, the researchers take a picture from a black hole. So there are 8 points on the Earth together. A lot of researchers take this picture, and some persons, I don't believe, or I have a different opinion. That's weird for me. For example, a couple of years ago, a little more, 2020, the people have to decide if you were vaccinated or not. I don't have enough knowledge to decide this thing. It's necessary believing doctors or another person. So in this case, there are some aspects, some points is necessary to search for good information. So in this case, the problem nowadays there are a lot of people, and the important people giving a lot of different instructions. That's really difficult sometimes because there is a doctor it's necessary to receive this medicine, this vaccine. And others have another point of view. Sometimes I believe, but sometimes it's hard to believe. So there are some aspects it's necessary to check the both sides and try to decide the best one. But unfortunately, our population don't have enough knowledge, enough interest in, not exactly knowledge, enough interest in. When you, for example, don't have any kind of interest in politicians or in politics, certainly another person decides your life.
That's true. I totally agree with you. You need to be aware of things. Of course, you don't need to have an opinion about everything. Just like you said, it's impossible to have an opinion about everything. But you need to know at least what's happening, right? You need to be aware so you can know who to vote. Because just like you said, if you don't know, someone else knows for you and you're going to be influenced by others. Right?
And nowadays there are a hard decision, and in any kind of scenario, for example, in your family or in the bar or another place, when you give your opinion, I don't know what happened, but some person try to find or invent some connection. Oh, you are a Bolsonarista. Oh, you are a Lulista. That's weird. Someday, a long time ago, fortunately, I was talking about passeata. I inside of my house, I saw a lot of people protesting or something. Oh, you are a Bolsonarista. Please, could you explain me better? I didn't understand the correlation between the both sides. And the guy insisted, you are a, I'm not sure if you tell me Bolsonarista or Lulista, but so that's
You
weird.
don't even know what they call you.
Please, could you explain how you reach from this situation? So in this case, that's weird. Certainly, there are a lot of people tell bullshit, don't have any kind of possibility to decide because don't have any kind of knowledge. But well, essentially, we live on a democracy. So in this case, democracy. So in this case, is a right to tell any kind of bullshit. So it's better than to talk anything, I believe.
Yeah. And I guess those things, they define politics here in Brazil in a smaller way, because like politics is not only Lula and Bolsonaro, right? Even left wing and right wing, they have a lot of different points of views. And then people think it's only them, but it's not. So like, Lula is a communist. Bolsonaro is a right-wing guy from, I don't know. He is not totally right-wing because he did a lot of things where it's not right-wing.
And
Lula is not a communist.
If you don't choose and between the both options, you are a isentão. It's not it's not possible to have a good decision. That's I couldn't have another point of view. I don't like to both. That's my opinion. So no, it's you should have some problem because it's necessary to choose between the both. Okay, that's.
And we only needed to choose between both in the second election, right? Because in the first election, we had a lot of options. In the second election, if you don't like neither of them, you couldn't vote. Like, you should just don't vote.
Sure.
But in the first, we had a lot of choices. If you don't like none of them, just don't vote. You're not
Yeah.
obligated to do something that you don't want,
Yeah.
right? Perfect,
That's my
guys.
opinion.
Mine too. I don't like neither of them. Usually I don't say that here, but today I am saying I don't like neither of them. So let's go to question number 4. Question number 4 is a little bit hard, but I'll explain it better. In your opinion, does democracy have the inherent risk of leading to demagoguery, as Socrates argued using the example of blah, blah, blah? Why not? Demagoguery is a hard word, but it's basically, I searched here the
Demagogue.
definition so I can show you
Demagoguery.
demagoguery. Mhm.
Yeah.
The action
I understood,
word.
but yeah.
I like to show this, so it's the definition of the dictionary. It's good. The action of winning support by exciting the emotions of ordinary people rather than by having good or morally right ideas. So, like, you don't win because you have strong arguments, but because you say crazy things, like you put fear on people or you say demagoguery. Like you win.
It's similar to Portuguese.
Yeah, similar to Portuguese, exactly. But it's a hard word even in Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
So let's see, in your opinion, does democracy have this risk of leading to demagoguery or not? Let's see your opinion. Let's start with, who started last time? It was Priscilla. So Victoria, let's start with you. In your opinion, does democracy have this risk or not?
I think yes. And nowadays, doesn't matter the what kind of political. It doesn't matter if they are left or right wing. They all use demagoguery. Demagoguery. They all use this kind of communication where which influence people to fear something and then vote on them, or which influences people to hate something and then vote on them because they also hate this kind of things. And I think it's a problem. Yes, I agree, and this is a problem.
Yeah. I guess it's something like democracy is good, just like we said before, but there are a lot of bad things, just like this one. People believe a lot in a certain person and then they, sorry, Victoria, you can say. Tell me.
No problem. I just remembered another thing I wanted to say. And when a political doesn't act this way, for example, I don't want to mention anyone, but when a political is more balanced, have more a balanced posture, people just don't pay attention to them. So I think it's a real problem.
Yeah. It doesn't call attention, right? They need attention. So nowadays attention is like that, right? Put fear on the population. And I don't think it's like that. There's one person that I would like to mention that I personally don't like. It's Trump. Trump did a lot of this. Trump said he's going to build a wall. Trump said that Mexicans were invading USA, make America great again. All of those things, I strongly disagree, mostly because I am Brazilian. I am Latin person. So I don't like when people don't like me, right? And then he did a lot of those things, put fear on the population. And I think that's not the right way to ask for votes. He could win without doing that. And I don't like this. So, Ricardo, in your opinion, does democracy have this risk of leading to demagoguery? What do you think?
It's not exactly a risk, it's a reality.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately, the biggest problem, in my opinion, is not the politician will be a demagogic person. The problem is a lot of people love this behavior. So this guy earned almost 40,000 reais for so in the this person don't promote any good action, don't create a good law or nothing. It's just speak up a lot of bullshits, and well, unfortunately is a negative side of democracy, but I believe that is better, is the other situation is don't how do you say, sometimes there are a blank in my mind, that's weird,
It
but
happens.
it's, I believe that is, well, talk a lot of bullshit. Unfortunately, it's better if you don't tell these things, but it's better you talk bullshit than it's not possible to talk any kind of idea. So
Yeah.
how do you say, side effects from democracy, I believe.
Yeah. Side effect. That's true. And I guess if people were more static about that, it would be better. Because like when people touch our fears, we get afraid, right? Not only our fears, but our beliefs, our moral, our things. When a politician says the other will do crazy things and you believe, it's a real complicated situation because you don't believe in the ones that maybe studied about the topic. Like I think there are a lot of teachers who candidate for positions as deputies or like mayor, vereador, né, in English. I don't think we have it, and they don't get elected. I don't believe that like teachers are the best ones. No, but they have studied something, right?
Yeah,
And a lot of people like don't know nothing about anything. They are elected.
yeah.
So
A lot of people tell me I need to give my point of view. I need to. So yesterday I was talking with a guy, and well, the scientists invest a lot of time, 30 years, and $1 billion to create the James Webb telescope. And this guy, I don't believe in that. It's a conspiracy situation, a lot of things. Okay, my friend, that's your it's your, how do you say, right to don't believe.
yeah.
But okay, when the guy, oh, I found other planet or another thing, it's a lie. Okay.
There are some people who don't even believe in the landing on the moon. Tem gente que acha que o pouso na lua é mentira. So
Yeah.
like, it's impossible. People doubt about a lot of things. It's impossible to be sure of everything. Não tem como a gente ter certeza de tudo. Mas a gente não pode ficar duvidando de tudo. Porque a gente não sabe
Yeah.
de nada. In the end, we don't know
Exactly.
nothing. So we need to believe. And Priscilla, tell me, in your opinion, does democracy have this risk of leading to demagoguery or not?
Yes, of course. It's happening all the time. A long time ago, in my opinion, yeah. It's intentional, yeah. I don't know, but I feel nowadays it's more and more intentional, yeah. I don't know. The people need that. Some people need that, yeah, like that. I don't know the explain about, but the teatro, yeah, I believe this. And don't like the real situation, yeah. Prefer se enganar, yeah. I believe that because some people will understand sometimes, but prefer to decide opposite, yeah. I don't understand, but I
happens.
respect, but happy all the time. Yeah,
that's true.
It's a bad situation. Because in my opinion, of course.
Mhm.
But I can to do nothing.
It happens. That's life. That's the world. Different opinions, different lives. So,
Yes.
guys, let me stop the live on YouTube because of our time.